Founded May 6, 2002, SpaceX has defied the odds and become the first privately owned company to send astronauts to space. The founder, CEO, and chief engineer Elon Musk, the real-life equivalent to Iron Man, has set the company's goal at making life multiplanetary through the colonization of Mars. Sadly, SpaceX is not yet publicly traded, and people are clamoring for a way to invest in the company. In this video, I'm going to explain how you can invest in SpaceX and when it's expected to become a public company. And the answer may be sooner than you thought.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
My name is Zach, and you should leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the video. Typically, I discuss dividend investing on this channel, but all my investments are not dividend stocks. For example, two of my largest holdings are Tesla and Amazon. What I look for in non-dividend paying stocks are companies that I feel will play a part in owning the future. Tesla leads the world in self-driving technology and is years ahead of its competitors. Amazon is the dominant online shopping platform and has incredible distribution infrastructure. These advantages create a large moat around each respective business. This idea of the moat is a strategy of billionaire investor Warren Buffett and refers to a business's ability to maintain advantages over its competitors in order to protect its long-term profits and market share from competition. These companies not only have large moats, but I think they will only grow and get stronger with time. With this concept in mind, I can't think of a business more primed to invest in than SpaceX. They've spent decades innovating technology and building a relationship with governing bodies like NASA. The amount of capital, time, and effort needed to compete with SpaceX is so astronomical that a massive moat is around the business. In the long term, the potential to be the dominant form of space transportation has massive value. Given the scope and limitless potential of space, an investment in SpaceX has the potential to make your grandkids and future generations incredibly wealthy. Not to mention, you could play a small part in spreading life across the universe.
I mean, first of all, why go anywhere, right? I think there are really two fundamental paths. History is going to bifurcate along two directions. One path is we stay on Earth forever, and then there will be some eventual extinction event. I don't have an immediate doomsday prophecy, but it's eventually, history suggests there will be some doomsday event. The alternative is to become a spacefaring civilization and a multi-planet species, which I hope you would agree that is the right way to go. Now that's the defensive argument, but the argument I actually find most compelling is that it would be an incredible adventure. I think it would be the most inspiring thing that I could possibly imagine. And life needs to be more than just solving problems every day. You need to wake up and be excited about the future and be inspired and want to live.
As I mentioned earlier, SpaceX is a private company. This means it doesn't currently have a public stock you can go and purchase on the market. So how can you invest? Well, right now, there are only two ways. Be lucky enough to invest in a private fundraising round, or be an employee at SpaceX and invest in their internal market. To participate in a fundraising round, you must be an accredited investor. This means you must have a net worth of at least $1 million excluding your primary residence, or have made $200,000 for the last 2 years if single, or $300,000 of combined income over the last 2 years if you're married. So if you're on the younger side and in the beginning of your investing journey like me, then you can't participate in this. On top of this, SpaceX's fundraising rounds are quite exclusive, and it's unlikely you would be able to invest even if you're financially able. So how can the average person get a stake in SpaceX right now? You would have to be a SpaceX employee, which grants you access to stock options and their internal stock exchange. Luckily, they are expanding and always looking for high-quality talent to join their team. The problem is that it's very competitive, and they have a rigorous interview process. On top of this, most of their hires are engineers, software engineers, or those with experience in the space industry, which creates a high barrier of entry. However, as SpaceX grows, the opportunity to be hired in business operations, sales, or finance are increasing. Now, this is a high level of commitment to invest in the company and not realistic for many aspiring investors. So is that it? Not quite. Some public companies are actually investors in SpaceX. For example, as of 2019, Google owns 8.3% of SpaceX. So if you wanted to invest in their parent company, Alphabet, then you can technically be an investor in SpaceX. Even though this is quite a roundabout way to invest, some might think it's worth it. So you've got 3 options right now, but none of those are ideal. So when is SpaceX just going to go public? Musk has had major reservations about taking SpaceX public. He's said, creating the technology needed to establish life on Mars is and always has been the fundamental goal of SpaceX. If being a public company diminishes that likelihood, then we should not do so until Mars is secure. He argues through his experience with Tesla and Solar City that when you're a public company, you'll go through extreme volatility that often has nothing to do with your internal operations. He claims this causes people to be distracted by the manic depressive nature of the stock instead of creating great products. However, he says that he is open to reconsidering his position on this. Gwen Shotwell, the president and COO of SpaceX, has said that they could not go public until the company was flying regularly to Mars. So when will this be? They've stated publicly that they hope to send its first cargo mission to Mars in 2022, followed by a crewed mission in 2024. And if you know anything about Elon Musk and his track record with predicting dates, these may be subject to delay. So it seems like it will be a while till SpaceX will go public. However, earlier this year, we received promising news that you may be able to get yourself a piece of SpaceX much sooner than that. Shotwell says, right now, we are a private company, but StarLink is the right kind of business that we could go ahead and take public. She also added, that particular piece is an element of the business that we are likely to spin out and go public. So it seems like we can keep our eyes out for StarLink going public in the next few years. So what exactly is StarLink? This project aims to provide high-speed internet across the globe through a large network of satellites. StarLink will deliver high-speed broadband internet to locations where access has been unreliable, expensive, or completely unavailable. Musk has claimed that it could do upwards of $30 billion a year, which is 10 times that of the expected revenue of its core rocket business. There's no better way to explain it than from Musk himself, so here's a clip of him discussing StarLink.
I think the long-term potential of it is pretty great, but I don't want to overplay or overstate things quite this or any stage of the game really. But the long-term goal is to create a comprehensive global communication system that provides high bandwidth, low latency connectivity anywhere in the world, and provides cross-links through the satellites so that you can have improved long-distance internet. You can actually have a more direct path through space, and photons move faster. I mean, depending upon what fiber optic material they're running through, photons actually move about 40 to 50% faster in vacuum than they do in fiber optic cable. The revenue potential of launching satellites, servicing the space station and whatnot, that's taps out around $3 billion a year. But I think providing broadband is more like an order of magnitude more than that, probably $30 billion a year, as a rough approximation. And we're still probably below 5% at that point. So it's not like, I want to be clear, it's not like Starlink is some huge threat to telcos. I want to be super clear, it is not. In fact, it will be helpful to telcos because Starlink will serve the hardest to serve customers that telcos otherwise have trouble doing with landlines or even with cell radio stations, with cell towers. 5G is great for high density situations like being here in DC or New York, San Francisco, that kind of thing. 5G is great for high density situations, but it's actually not great for the countryside. For rural areas, it's not great. You need range. So Starlink will effectively serve the 3 or 4% hardest to reach customers for telcos, or people who simply have no connectivity right now, or the connectivity is really bad. So I think it will be actually helpful and take a significant load off the traditional telcos.
it's very important that you don't need a specialist or something to install. The goal is that the instructions in the box they're just 2 instructions, and they can be done in either order. Point at sky, plug in.
The StarLink project is already well under development. Currently, over 540 satellites are in orbit, and they aim to have over 12,000 in their network. On June 13th, they launched 58 more satellites into orbit using one of their reusable Falcon 9 rockets. They plan to launch more satellites on June 23rd and will continue doing so indefinitely. Their internet network is already available for beta testing, and they are targeting service in the northern United States and Canada in 2020, rapidly expanding to near global coverage of the populated world by 2021. StarLink has the potential to be a great investment opportunity and has large long-term prospects as they spread the internet throughout space. So hopefully you now have an idea of how you can invest in SpaceX and when you can expect it to go public. I'll be sure to let you know when there's more updates and give you the full breakdown when I finally do invest in SpaceX. Be sure to let me know in the comments if you'd like me to cover more of my non-dividend investments. Thank you for watching the 9th video of Dividend Data. I'd greatly appreciate if you could leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Every month, you'll be getting a breakdown of my full long-term dividend stock portfolio, and every week, a video like this. If you follow me on Twitter, link in the description, you can get real-time updates of my buys and dividends coming in. I'm launching a Patreon where you can support the channel. Here, you can gain access to my personal spreadsheet, chat with other viewers, and have your name displayed at the end of every video as a premium supporter of the channel. The link is in the description. Please leave a comment below, and thank you for watching.